All right. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. This is Paxata's product team, and we are very excited to be here with you today to speak about our newest version and release of our product, Paxata Spring of 2019. We'll give you a quick overview about the release. We will show you a demo and also answer any questions that you may have. My name is Farnaz Erfan. I am the head of product marketing here at Paxata, and I am joined by my colleagues, Krupa Natarajan. She is the head of our product at Paxata, and we also have Mike White, who is one of our solution engineers turned product marketer. The agenda for today is pretty straightforward. For those of you who are newer to Paxata, I will give you a very quick 2 or 3 minute introduction into what we do, and then we will spend majority of the time with Krupa and with Mike to see what's new in spring of 2019, and also show you an end-to-end demo of our product that's going to feature all the new capabilities that we have brought to the market in 2019. So with that, let's get started. So at the core of it, Paxata provides self-service data preparation at scale. And what that means is that we are enabling any user, not just the people who have been in IT and have development and coding skills, but any user, any business user, to have the ability to bring in data, find data, clean and prepare, blend it for analytics. And we do this at scale, meaning that with Paxata, you are not limited to small samples of data. You can work with your entire data interactively and at scale. And that's very critical when it comes to data quality issues, as there's no question that you will miss data quality issues when you work with small samples. You see a number of our customers here on this slide. We don't have the time to go through all their use cases, but we are used across the board for anything like building a single view of your customers, to application migration scenarios, to people doing compliance reporting with Paxata. So the use cases are pretty broad. At the core of it, the product is pretty simple. We connect to a variety of data sources, that be relational sources or flat files, IoT data, data lakes, as well as semi-structured files that are similar to or in the context of XML, JSON, Avro, or a different type file format. In Paxata, you have the ability to do profiling. It's actually a one-click profile, so you can see with one click the entire distribution of your data. And again, this is where you're able to see and not be limited to samples and see data at its entirety. You also have the ability to start to clean your data, combine it with other sources, explore it, and shape it to the format that you wish to represent. And at the end of your workflow, you will automate and schedule your data preparation for publishing it to downstream applications. Everything within the product is, has built-in intelligence. So it could be your intelligent ingest that's really understanding the schema of incoming files, and it's parsing it accordingly. Or it could be intelligent joins. We detect joins between different data sets, or intelligent kind of data cleaning, where we recognize duplicates or overlaps or similarities in your data set. So things are a lot easier for you and are done a lot quicker and in more agile fashion. So one thing to note is that as we have provided self-service data preparation, we've seen more and more data practitioners are coming in and starting to prepare their data sets on their own, and they start to share their workloads and collaborate on self-service or self-created data prep jobs. So in many cases, these data prep flows are built over time, are built incrementally, as opposed to the previous paradigm that has been building an end-to-end ETL flow that has, everything under the sun that we can think of today. Things are built incrementally and over time. For example, I can come in and build a data preparation flow today that's built upon 10, 20, or 30 other different data flows that I have created in the past or my colleagues have created in the past. And as I do that and I start to automate the job that I'm building today, I expect my data preparation solution to have the intelligence to understand all the dependencies across the data flows that I have brought into my project so that I don't have to think of that. And that's at the core of the release that we have built in 2019. It's at the core of DataOps, and it's at the core of that intelligent automation to make that easy for you as a business user to really stitch this automatically and not have you worry about that in too much detail. So with that, I will pass it to Krupa to take you through the details of this release and what's new beyond the intelligent automation as well. Krupa?
Thank you, Farnaz. Hi, everybody. My name is Krupa Natarajan. As Farnaz mentioned, I head product here at Paxata. Very, very excited to delve a little bit deeper into the Paxata Spring 2019 release. If I can, Farnaz, if you could advance the slide for me, please. All right, thank you very much. Before we talk about the exciting new capabilities in Paxata Spring 2019, I do want to take a minute to elaborate Paxata's intelligent capabilities that Farnaz touched upon. One of the core tenets of the Paxata platform is the inbuilt intelligence that enables Paxata to really do all the heavy lifting, so to make the analyst's life easier and more efficient. For example, the joint detection capability in Paxata leverages patented machine learning algorithms to identify how two data sets could be joined together, enabling the analyst to merge those data sets without writing any kind of SQL scripts. A second example is the natural language processing-based clustering capability that automatically detects sets of data that can be clustered and standardized. If you're working with data that had different variations of a customer name or write-in fields that may contain misspellings, you could standardize such data with a single click. And if you're a customer of Paxata, you may be aware that last year we extended that intelligent capability into what we call intelligent ingest, which brings it to the point in time where you're bringing data sets into the Paxata system, where we can intelligently detect the structure and the type of the data, so you can work with any kind of data without having to understand the underlying structure. With Paxata Spring 2019, we're extending that, and for the first time in any data management platform, where we are bringing intelligence into the process of automating and operationalizing data preparation. The intelligent automation pieces together related projects and data sets into a single connected flow that can be operationalized with a single click. These flows can be set up to be triggered on a time basis, based on either a frequency or a schedule that goes per when you need to operationalize your process. A business analyst-friendly monitoring capability allows analysts to track status of their automated jobs, identify failures, watch key indicators such as the breakdown of how long a job ran, and also query quickly to find out what jobs, if any, may kick off during a particular window of time, perhaps over the upcoming weekend. All of this is available through REST APIs as well, which allows for easy integration into other process orchestration engines and tools. So Paxata's intelligent automation encapsulates all of that. And if we move forward, let's take a look into what intelligent automation can do for you. So if you're a business analyst or a data engineer, the intelligent automation allows you to break down complex data preparation exercises into smaller, manageable projects. Perhaps you can collaborate with another team member that could build some of these projects that are related. You could use the interactive data preparation interface to build out these projects. But at the end of it, when all of your projects are built, the intelligent automation can automatically sequence and run all the pieces together as a single job. So it does enable you to break down your work as well as collaborate and ensure that pieces of that work are being delivered and built upon and delivered by the expert and that piece of at that deliverable. If you're an IT or a business leader, intelligent automation allows you to curate data flows from all data practitioners. We have inbuilt governance that allows for all the jobs, the project sets, the steps, and the data set versions to be all captured and repeatable at any point in time. So here's a real-world example of a end-to-end data preparation exercise. Each of those boxes that you see is a data preparation project, and those lines indicate how they relate together and they sequence. Um, in the real world, this can get really complex and pretty advanced. In order to operationalize something like this, typically a business analyst would be expected to build this diagram out by drawing those boxes and connecting those lines together. What we've done with Paxata's intelligent automation in the Spring 2019 version is to turn that around into a single click. So as a business analyst, as you're interactively preparing your data prep steps, you could get to the final state, which produces the results that you want to work with in a BI dashboard or some other downstream application. And at that point in time, click on a single button to create a project flow. The built-in intelligence will compute all of those dependencies, which we just took a look at how complex they can potentially be. But all of those boxes and lines are pieced together by Paxata automatically for you rather than you having to build them out by hand. Once these project flows are built, you have the ability to run them either on demand from a visual interface by clicking on a button, or configure these end-to-end pieces of work to run on a schedule or be triggered on a frequency basis. And last but not least, you can also invoke these through REST API, enabling you to plug this into your larger ecosystem of data management jobs. As these jobs are running end-to-end, we have a business analyst-friendly interface that allows you to quickly look at the status of each job run. But the most important thing that I'd like to call out is the notion of a snapshot that is automatically created by Paxata. Each run is associated with a snapshot, which represents the exact state of the project flow at the time of the run, including all the steps and the exact version of the data set. So if an end-to-end automation job run produced a result that you took to a BI dashboard, and weeks later you want to come back and look into what exactly ran to generate that result that fed the dashboard, you will have the ability to do so using the snapshots. And this is done automatically. So there's inbuilt governance to keep track of the changes that are happening through the system. So as we build intelligent automation at Paxata, we're very fortunate to have world-class customers that we're happy to be part of their information management journey. At Nationwide, a key customer of ours, there are over 500 active Paxata users across 17 different business functions, working with thousands of data sets and billions of rows of data. For Nationwide, intelligent automation allows collaboration across all of those users and simplifies the complexity of developing and operationalizing the data preparation. Cox Automotive, another key customer of ours, identified that with intelligent automation, Paxata not only plays an important role in their customer mastering and data quality initiatives, but intelligent automation, a step forward, has provided Cox Automotive with the ability to accelerate value from these exercises. So we're very excited to see the capabilities of Paxata Spring 2019 materialize into something very valuable to each of our customers. Beyond intelligent automation, Paxata Spring 2019 version packs a whole lot of capabilities, including another key piece of intelligence that we've added to the platform with fuzzy deduplication. So if you have a data set that needs to be deduplicated, beyond just matching rows by exact values, we now have a way to algorithmically match similar values of data across multiple variates or multiple columns of the data using the fuzzy matching capability, and be able to generate a deduplicated result which could act as a master data. And that is done through a single click using the inbuilt similarity algorithm that we've built. In addition to this, in the Spring 2019 version, we're really excited to bring out 33 new transformation capabilities to the computed column functions. These transformations range from string functions to search, extract, and replace type functions that can leverage pattern matching, to a whole bunch of numeric calculations that are feasible now, and a bunch of date functions. For example, if you're working on a financial operations or sales report, it's very easy to extract an end of the month or a week of the year using these new date functions. We've also added a bunch of capabilities to the overall user experience, and Mike would be walking through some of these, and you will see them in the new interface. If you are a Paxata SaaS customer, you will see guided product tours that walk you step by step through a number of capabilities in the application, including how-tos and tips and tricks. We've introduced steps reuse. So in any data prep exercise, you can capture a set of steps, save them, and then replicate those steps in a different project. So it's now easy to capture best practices as a set of reusable steps and share them between team members or share them across different data preparation exercises. The new user experience integrates the data library experience with the project experience. So it's more fluid to go between selecting data sets and working with those data sets in the interface. Date operations have not only been enhanced in terms of the types of operations you can perform, but we can now very easily convert columns into dates using a simple menu click, and it's easy to apply that conversion across multiple columns in your data set. And there's a whole set of capabilities that round out the updated user experience. And one of the powerful capabilities that's been newly introduced is the dynamic way to express filtergram selections using percentiles. So rather than selecting 3 values from a filtergram that you're interacting with, you can now express the intent to capture the top 3% of values. So regardless of the data set that you're feeding to the project, it will dynamically match to the top 3%. Again, there's a whole bunch of capabilities around user experience that we believe will improve the efficiency of your data preparation exercises. Last but not least, we're always expanding the envelope when it comes to the types of data that you can work with in your Paxata environment. We have a whole bunch of cloud applications now supported as direct connectors, including Marketo, Zendesk, Salesforce Marketing Cloud, Oracle Marketing Cloud, and NetSuite, expanding the types of data that you can work with in Paxata. So with all those exciting capabilities overviewed, I would love to turn it over to Mike White so he can actually show them to you in action, and you would get to see a glimpse of these. Mike, to you, please.
Great, thanks a lot, Krupa. All right, share out my screen here. I'm excited about this release. There's so much that's coming out that it was hard to decide what should I be showing off today in the demo. So if you don't see one of those things that Krupa mentioned in the demo, I apologize. We'll happily send you a follow-up with more info. I think it's best to understand what does this all mean in the context of actual business use case. So I want to take you through a user scenario that I've seen personally myself a couple of times when I was a consultant at one of the big 4 and focused on data analytics and management reporting. And one of those use cases where intelligent automation really shines is sales variance reporting, right? So let's take Anna. She's our data superhero in this particular scenario. And of course, she's under the gun to produce a BI dashboard for her management team that will consolidate sales data and product hierarchy information and planning data. And ultimately, she wants to provide this view, this monthly sales variance dashboard to her management. And the data has got to be clean and it has to be accurate and complete. Now, the only problem is that she's working with a variety of data sources and data sets, and not just her, but other people in the company who she's relying on to produce this data. So what do we have here? We have a cloud data lake. That's the source of the sales transaction data. We have a cloud-based planning app that is producing the sales plans. And we have, of course, an Excel report extract. There's always got to be an Excel file in there somewhere, right? And this is going to provide the product hierarchy information. And again, the goal here is just to produce a final monthly sales variance report. And as you see here, we see Susan. She's owning the sales transaction data. Bob has a project that's consolidating the sales planning data for the core product lines as well as new product lines. And then the product hierarchy ultimately comes from a financial ERP system. Right, so our goal here is a monthly sales variance report. So let's jump into a live demo, and then we'll come back to slides just to revisit what we're able to do. So what I would like to do here is we'll come back to her project. I just want to show really quickly, because this will be the best time to show it. For those of you that are already using Paxata, and there are quite a few on the line today, and thanks for joining, by the way. It's now easy to get into a project really quickly. We're trying to think of wherever it's possible to simplify things. The fewer clicks or a single click, we're going to do that. So as an example, you see now this new button, Create Project. And right from here, I can jump into a brand new data prep project. Let's say it's just our sales variance data prep, and our description, I'm going to copy it in, is to prepare a fully consolidated sales history, product, and plan output for our BI dashboard. Create, boom, data is ready to go. We're ready to profile, and we're ready to do everything that we need to do in this situation. Okay, so that's what that looks like. Okay, so let's step through Anna's project. She starts out by working with the consolidated sales transactional activity, right? Let's look at the annotation here, right? This is from Susan. Now, notice this is over 1 million records. We always like to highlight that Paxata is great for working with data that's just outside the reach of Excel, right? Millions, tens of millions of records, and you can interact with the entire data set in the grid. And the first thing that Anna wants to do is validate, does this have the 3 years of data that I'm expecting? So now we see that the data appears to be cast as a text. The A-C indicates the text column. Now she can go in, and there's an option to change into date. So that is new with this upcoming release. I can see that's the next step that she's added here. And notice there are a lot of common formats, but in this case, she's taking advantage of the custom option and is just pasting that in there. And then she knows this is resulting in a date column because we see the little clock there. Now, that's important because now Paxata can be much more helpful to profile this column. As many of you know, with the filtergram, a single click, she can get a great view into every single value in this column, in this nearly 1.4 million record data set. So she's got the order date, and if we take a look, I'm going to expand this a little bit. She needs to validate that there are 3 years of data here. I'm actually going to close this and bring it up. She needs to confirm there are 3 years worth of data, 2016, 2017, and 2018. And so with the filtergram, she'll be able to identify the min, the max. She'll be able to identify anomalies, and we can see that she's got these annotations as well. And all right, we'll give this one more shot. Of course, bear with me. We love to do these things live. All right, and you'll notice also if I jump over here, we're not going to spend time on the dynamic ranges portion, but now you see an option for that. That's also really exciting because it's going to make it much easier to do something like a Pareto analysis or an 80-20 percentage. All right, so we'll just jump past that for now. Our next step is to incorporate product hierarchy information, right? This is an Excel report that she brings in. Let's go ahead and expand the annotations here. This comes from Janice, who manages the financial ERP data. And if we take a look at the edit step, we can see that there's the join detection that Krupa mentioned is taking advantage of built-in machine learning algorithms to figure out which columns make sense to merge these two data sets together. And there's really only one obvious connection here. That is to take product code from the transactional data and match it to product number. And so we can see what that looks like down here below in the row by row preview, which is a great way to immediately validate what Anna is doing along the way. And we can see this incorporates some of the key product information. And as she does this, she actually notices that there are some issues in the product line data. And she's going to go in and take advantage of the ability to open it up. Actually, before we do that, let's aggregate the data. I forgot one more step that she does here. So after joining in the product hierarchy information, she can do a shape step and again, point and click. She's able to select the different columns she wants to aggregate, the aggregates. This is not a new capability, but she knows that for this scenario, it's important to roll up the data at the monthly level so that it's possible to merge it with the sales planning numbers, which are at the monthly aggregation level. So that's the next step. Now here, there's a relatively tricky looking join that's going on, and we can see that doing join detection helps see that there's 100% here, but she had noticed that there was a problem in product line, and that was actually in the sales planning data. Now, she can go and expand the step, and it's possible to do some fairly sophisticated sub-step and ability to prep data that's being joined to or prep data that's being appended in. In this case, she actually went in and applied some cleanup to the product line, and that's by using the cluster and edit. That's in the bottom option in the dropdown, and she was able to identify some of the misspellings that were part of that product line data. So that's great. And as a result, the join results in 100%. Great. With that said, let's go ahead and continue on from here. So she's got all the data consolidated and merged together that she needs. The last thing that she needs to do is to produce a set of key metrics. And she's going to take advantage of the ability to reuse steps. And we're really excited about this because it makes it even easier to reuse steps than it ever has been before. And so she has a Paxata steps file that's been shared with her from a member of her team. Let's open it up. Voila, look at that, beautiful. So it's added about 10 additional steps to her project. We're in edit mode. We're able to even see the annotations that belong to this steps file, and notice some of the new features that are part of the compute tool, including the addition of a new function here called the ability to round based on percentage. So there are a lot more options now in the functions dropdown, which are possible, which is definitely very helpful when doing monthly reporting-based scenarios. So let's save that. Last thing that she's going to do is add a lens, and this is going to represent her final output. Sales variance, whoops, report, final. All right, let's save that. And I think we'll go ahead and take about a couple more minutes to wrap up before we open it up for Q&A. So let me, at this point, she's going to go in and take advantage of this new button here, create project flow. So this is exciting because now with a single click, she is able to let Paxata go in, and I'll just add a quick name. I can add a description here, create. And just like that, Paxata has figured out all the inputs and outputs and gives her the ability to go in and add a schedule and add as many as she needs. In this case, the smartest way to run this is just to run it on the last day of every month at everybody's favorite time, 6 in the morning. Done. And she can indicate who gets notified upon success or failure of the job and what happened. And then if we move on, I'll save that. These are some new screens. So inputs, we see all of the inputs that had to exist in order for Anna's final output to be possible. We also see the outputs tab, which allows her to see all the projects that were involved in making it possible to produce this final lens or output view, which is the report that she wants to land directly into. In this case, she has access to Tableau Server. Paxata also integrates really nicely with Power BI, MicroStrategy, and other BI tools. So she's going to select Tableau Server and confirm, and now she has the full end-to-end automation scenario set up, and she can even run it from within this view. So we'll select Run, and we can view all of the project flows from here as well, and see just everything can be managed. And this is a great capability for those that need to actually manage all the jobs and data prep workflows that are being run within the organization. Great. So with that being said, and then last thing I wanted to call out, I got 2 other tabs here. We see she can access the sales transactions project from Susan and the sales planning project from Bob, and see how they've annotated, what they've done. If she needs to go back, she can have that kind of visibility. So let's go ahead and conclude with that. I tried to go pretty quick for you guys, so we got some time for Q&A. So what did we do here? Well, there was Susan's project, as we saw, that appended all the 3 years of sales data and did some additional prep and transformation. There's Bob's project that did the sales planning prep, which had to merge core and new product lines and then pivot the data because of how a financial ERP system tends to export data. And then Anna's project. And let's just build this out. So she started with the output from Susan's project. She merged in the product hierarchy information that was from an Excel file. She rolled it up at the monthly level, joined it up against Bob's output, which is the planning data, and then she used the steps reuse file to calculate all those metrics, ultimately being led to click on a button to produce the project flow. Beautiful. So now she's got the monthly sales report that's fully automated in an intelligent fashion, figuring out all the different dependencies. So these are the features that we've highlighted today. There's more than this, but exciting stuff. Looking forward to getting everybody's feedback. And I do want to put a shout out for our 14-day trial that's going on right now. For those of you that haven't had a chance to test it out, please go to this link and access the cloud trial. We're happy to give you access, and there's a lot of resources there to help you through the whole process. And Paxata Live happens on every weekly basis on Tuesday. And so, well, before we go to thank you, let's open it up for any questions on the line that me or Krupa can address.
Great. Thank you so much, Mike, for the demo. That was super exciting. All right, so everyone, if you have any questions, go ahead and type that into the Q&A questions box. We'll be taking your questions as they come. There are a couple of questions here. One is asking, is intelligent automation a premium feature, or is it available for everyone? I'll let Krupa answer that question.
Sure, that's a great question. Intelligent automation is available to all our customers, and if your prospective customers included as part of your basic Paxata, we believe that operationalization is a key part of data preparation exercises, and it will not be a premium capability.
Exactly. Great, thank you. And then the next question is asking whether this person has, we already have a process orchestration engine. Does Paxata integrate with other orchestration frameworks? Krupa, do you want to take that too?
Sure, happy to. Yes, we do. Everything that you can do in intelligent automation, including the generation, intelligently generating the entire project flow to executing the project flow and monitoring for status, is available through REST APIs, and those can be integrated with any third-party tools or applications, including process orchestration engines.
Okay, great. Sounds good. There are a couple of additional questions that came in. One person is asking, are you able to develop your own connectors to export to a custom destination, or are you only able to use the built-in? Either Mike or Krupa, whoever wants to answer, that'd be great.
Krupa's on a roll. Go ahead, Krupa.
Sure. Mike, please feel free to chime in as well. We do have a generic capability to connect to REST-based applications. So you can have the ability to, and this does not require any development. If you have a REST interface to your application, we have a generic REST connector that can import data from there. We also have a generic JDBC connectivity. So in most cases, applications and data that's behind either REST interface or a JDBC type interface, we would be able to support them. Beyond that, we don't. We have the ability to extend connectors very rapidly in the Paxata system. You can talk to any of our customer success representatives or sales representatives to understand more.
Great, thank you. There are actually a couple of questions coming in. A person is asking, what type of AI is being put to work? Machine learning, neural networks, if any. The question is not, I believe the question is around what machine learning, I can interpret it as what type of machine learning we use under the cover, or I can also interpret it as what kind of machine learning features we create, perhaps for neural networks. I'm not quite sure how we can answer that. But Krupa, do you want to kind of chime in a little bit on the machine learning built-in algorithms that we have within the product for deduplication and at a high level? And then maybe we can take this one offline with more details.
Absolutely, and I'll address that in a generic fashion, and if there's more specifics, please feel free to reach out to us directly. We do have a variety, and depending on the scenario that we're handling, whether that's joint detection or clustering. In Paxata Spring 2019, we have the similarity-based algorithm, which is an extension of both Levenstein and Jarrow-Winkler, based on which we're able to identify similarities across multiple variants of data. So based on the solution that we're tackling, we have the relevant machine learning algorithms that are leveraged as well as customized and extended to provide the optimal experience for our users.
Great. Thank you. Appreciate that. There's another question that's asking, does the new release support multi-delimiters in a text file? Multi-delimiters, I'm assuming we could use the substring and recognize delimiters and then keep splitting the column into multiple columns as we see.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know how you would answer that.
Yeah, we do support delimiters, and users can specify the delimiter. If the question is about multiple character delimiters, that is something that we can follow up with you, probably an Paxata user, and we can reach out to you. We can click that level of detail to see whether we're supporting it, and we can get back to you on that.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. Wonderful. Well, those were the questions we had today. Seems like folks are interested. We are always happy to answer any questions you have. We are available offline. Hopefully this was useful to you all to see the new capabilities of Paxata. Do reach out to us, attend our live webcast every Tuesday at 11, or join this free trial to see the product for yourself. And with that, we want to thank you for joining us today. Until next time, bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.